What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this, I want to break down what's happening with the overall markets. I'm going to break down some big news involving President Trump, what's going on with the markets. We're seeing SPY trying to break out in the after hours, and also what you should be watching for as time goes on. Just know that I am not a financial planner. Take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you sign up for Moomoo with the link down below and deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 25 in total, and deposit $5,000 and you're guaranteed 60 free stocks. The offer ends at the end of July. So anyways, what's happening to the markets? As of right now, the market's pushing up very nicely during the after hours, but we're going to be watching to see if we break resistance or not because we got some major news that came out from President Trump. So I'm going to break down what is being said about this news first, and I'll break down more details about this chart. The first thing to remember is that don't forget we have Jerome Powell who's going to be giving a testimony tomorrow, which is very important. And then as a reminder, Israel and Iran had lots and lots of tensions. Israel felt very threatened by Iran's nuclear program, which is why they ended up striking against them. And then we saw a lot of strikes back and forth between them. Then we saw President Trump and the U.S. get involved as the U.S. had many strikes against Iran that happened just a couple of days ago. This caused crude to go up and the market did dip temporarily, only to get a massive bounce after we got even more news. So what happened with the news? What is President Trump saying that's causing the market to bounce? We're going to talk about that first. Then I'll break down the charts in more detail. First and foremost, President Trump said that Iran basically retaliated against the U.S. and they did strike some of our bases. But the good news is that nobody was hurt, no one was harmed, no Americans were harmed or any Qataris, according to President Trump. So that's a good piece of news because they had a good amount of time to respond and evacuate the facilities. And he also said the damage is very minor, so that's what he claims so far. And then after saying this, President Trump said, "Congratulations, world, it's time for peace." And then he said this, and this caused the market to explode. He said, "Congratulations to everyone. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now when Israel and Iran have wound down and completed in their progress." So that's some big news. He's saying that there's going to be an official ceasefire. Iran's going to start the ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, Israel will start the ceasefire, and upon the 24th hour, an official end to the 12-day war will be saluted by the world. He's saying that during each ceasefire, the other side will remain peaceful and respectful. He's calling it the 12-day war, and this could have gone down for years, but he claims that it's going to be ending early. So that's what President Trump is saying so far. So yeah, as soon as President Trump said this, the market's going crazy. We're seeing SPY up 0.5% in the after hours. Even during the end of the day, we saw the market pushing. The QQQ is also up about 0.8% in the after hours. It's pushing very nicely. So I do expect this to gap up pretty nicely tomorrow. But the question is, can we sustain these levels if we're about to get some kind of breakout? Because there is one problem I see. So, yes, President Trump is saying there's peace. The ceasefire is agreed upon both sides. However, according to U.S. media, a senior Iranian official has said that Iran has not received any ceasefire proposal, and Iran still wants to continue to intensify their strikes on Israel. So that's what is being said so far, according to the news. I don't know what's about to happen. Is President Trump correct about this ceasefire? Did Iran agree to it? Or are these other officials correct that they're going to continue to strike against Israel? We'll have to wait and see. I hope, and I really hope that President Trump is correct about this and that there's going to be a ceasefire that's coming. Obviously, the market loves that. The market loves that news, is trying to push with that coming out. So it all depends on this news. Will there be a ceasefire, or is this going to continue as some of these Iranian senior officials are saying? We have to wait and see. But if there is some kind of ceasefire, if both sides agree to peace and they want to actually stop the war, right, that would be a lot better. And by the way, guys, I'm not trying to say peace as in the entire situation's over. Of course, tensions will remain for years to come. I want to be very realistic about that. But I'm just talking about this particular war in this particular instance. If we see a ceasefire, that could be bullish. So we'll have to see about that just to be safe. On top of this, I just want to say that tomorrow is going to be Tuesday, June 24th. At 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the big guy, Jerome Powell, giving a speech in front of the House Finance Committee. Whatever he says may cause some volatility. Also know that he's going to be interrogated by many congressional members who have many political biases in hand, they may try to get Jerome Powell to say certain things, which could really shake the markets. So be careful. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., we'll see what Jerome Powell has to say. So, what is my view of the market? Well, as of right now, we look bullish. And if President Trump is correct about the ceasefire news, that could be very bullish. The setup also looks more bullish. So, we basically form this flag, and SPY is trying to break out of this, which is a very good sign, but we need to hold these levels just for confirmation. If SPY could hold above the 606 area, we're going to be looking for an attempt for all-time highs. We could continue to go higher. But if we're bearish and if we reject around 604 and we can't hold above 604 tomorrow, then there could be a move back down towards 598, back down to where these EMAs happen to be. For now, we do look more bullish, but this is very dependent on President Trump and also what happens between Israel and Iran. Is there truly going to be a ceasefire? As of right now, President Trump says there will be one, so that is bullish if that ends up being the case. So for now, the chart does favor upside, at least for the shorter term. The daily started off weak, but now we're bouncing off our 20 EMA. It looks more bullish. So for now, the chart is technically favoring upside, higher highs and higher lows. So we're still favoring a push towards these all-time highs if we hold these key levels. If SPY loses 595, I will turn back to bearish. For now, as we're above 603, I want to see if we could test 606 and break that to continue to push. And we're going to be looking even more bullish if that ends up being the case. So keep that in mind. On the QQQ, it's the same thing. Now, if we sustain these levels, the daily does look more bullish. I don't want to see the QQQ lose 525. If we lose that, I will turn more bearish. As long as we're above 525, we're now favoring upside. Now, on top of this, we have this resistance to watch for around this 537 area. If we break that on the QQQ, we're going for all-time highs around 541. But if we lose 525, we're more bearish. Going back to the 4-hour, we're looking more bullish. This also looks like a potential breakout. So if you draw out the lines here, let me just draw this out for you guys. We have this like flag that was forming. So it kind of looks like this. This is kind of like what the flag looks like. We're trying to break out of this. If we fail at 530 tomorrow, we could turn back down depending on what Jerome Powell says. But as long as we're above 533, I would argue we still look more bullish. And we're going to be looking for a test of 537. I do think we're going to be testing that. Hopefully we break that and try to go for 540. So watch for confirmation. For now, the chart does look more bullish if we can continue this trend. And we're looking pretty good in my personal opinion. Now, the IWM started off kind of weak. It was dipping only to get bought back up. Now it's trying to bounce after this news that President Trump announced. If we lose 210, we're looking for a dump back down. But as long as we hold this, we're going to be favoring the 215 plus area. So keep that in mind. ES is looking more bullish. We have a bullish flag as of right now, but I want to see us hold above 6120. If 6120 holds, I could see ES try to continue this trend. If we end up losing essentially the 5980 area, we could dump right back down. But I want to see 6120 and basically 6160 break. 6120 could be more bullish if we break resistance. So I think there's a good chance we do try to push even more. On NQ, we're looking pretty good right here. We're getting a nice break from this resistance. So for now, we're looking pretty good. If we end up losing 22,000, we're looking for a dump back down. But as long as we're above 22,250, we're looking for an attempt for 22,400 as we look a bit more bullish. On Bitcoin, it's making a full recovery. As long as we don't lose 101,000, this now has an inverse head and shoulders, favoring 106,000, eventually 108,000 to go even higher. Tesla's looking bullish. Nice breakout after the robotaxi event. I was worried about the war. If it did escalate into something much bigger, that would be bearish. But there's two factors. The market bouncing, number one. The news that President Trump is saying there's going to be a ceasefire that's helping the market bounce. And simultaneously, the hype involving the robotaxi. As Tesla has successfully launched the robotaxis, we saw lots of very successful rides by people. And they charged about $4.20 per ride. It's very bullish. And, the market loves that. It's a very, very bullish catalyst for Tesla for the long term. We're seeing a lot of buyers stepping in. So if Tesla could hold 350, I do think we could be going higher for 362.5 and eventually 370. But if Tesla ends up failing at 344, we could turn back down. I'm hoping we try to hold 350 to continue to push for the 360s. On Nvidia, we're making higher highs right here. I want to see Nvidia basically not lose 144. If we lose 144, we could be dumping lower. But as long as we hold this, we're going to be looking for an attempt for basically 146. For Appl, we're looking more bullish, nice inverse head and shoulders like structure. If we end up losing 199, we're looking for a dump back down to 196. As long as we hold this, we're looking for an attempt for 204 or above to start pushing higher. So I favor upside. For AMD is making higher highs and higher lows. If we end up losing 127, we're going to be looking for an attempt to dump lower, but as long as we hold that, we're going to be favoring 135 or above. For Coinbase, we're looking bullish. We're going to be favoring the 320s. If we end up losing 300, we're going to be dumping back down, but so far we're favoring 320 plus. Amazon's bouncing. Technically speaking, as long as we get back above 212, we're looking bullish. I want to see if 212 holds. We have a double bottom on Meta. I want to see if we could break and hold above this the 706 area. If that breaks, we're looking for an attempt for the 710s. If we lose 687, we're going to be turning back down, but this looks a bit more bullish. On Google, we look bullish. I want to see if we break 170 to push for 172. If we end up losing basically 165, we could turn back down, but I do favor 169. And then Microsoft is breaking out, looking for an attempt for 500. Looks pretty good right now. No sign of rejection. Also, the VIX is rejecting. It's going to be testing 19.5 tomorrow. We got to see if this bounces or not. The VIX is going to dip like this. See the yellow line. If this bounces, that's going to be something the market may reject. But if we lose 19.5, this is going to be dumping to fill this gap to about 18. So it depends on if we end up holding 19.5 or not. So that being said, guys, it's very late right now. I was very busy today because of a family emergency. That's why I have to make this video kind of short. So I will be back tomorrow to go over a lot more tickers. But for now, the market is looking more bullish, technically speaking. And if President Trump is correct about the ceasefire, that is what the market is liking, because the fear that the market would dump because of higher inflation, higher oil prices, obviously that was not the best for markets. But now that that fear may subside, if there is truly going to be some kind of ceasefire, that could be very bullish. Like I said before, Iran has not confirmed this news from what I'm seeing according to many mainstream reports. As of right now, there are Iranian officials who are saying that there's no ceasefire and that they want to continue their strikes. So we'll see how it goes. Will this lead to rejection or not? I don't know for sure. Also, it depends on what Jerome Powell says tomorrow during his testimony at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in front of Congress, in front of the House Finance Committee. So we'll see what he ends up saying as well. It's going to be a very big day. But for now, the market looks bullish. Technically speaking, we're favoring upside. So for now, we're just going to play the trend as we look strong right here. Watch your levels. We'll see if SPY can break 604.5 and 606. If it does, we're going to continue to pump. I do think we might be testing those levels, so we could be going a bit higher on Tesla, SPY, and the QQQ. But then we'll see if we continue to hold above those levels or not. So be very careful. Otherwise, we are still favoring a bit more upside, and even more upside if we break resistance. I hope that's as clear as possible, guys. We'll see what happens with this war situation, what happens with all the news coming out, and what happens with Jerome Powell. I hope you guys have a good rest of your guys' days. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and peace out.